All right, happy Friday night, everybody. It's good to be back with you on Friday nights, doing the prediction show and everything else here at theraiderland.com in the Arctic Air Studios, Texas Tech at Arizona, a late night tomorrow. What's your plan, by the way, to stay up for the 10 o'clock kick? What are you going to do? How are you going to pace yourself? We'll talk about that tonight. Get your Tech Arizona score predictions, the most Texan thing you have done this week. And it is kind of a rivalry weekend, not necessarily a weekend in the NFL, but you got a cool one with the Cowboys and the Steelers getting back. We'll talk about NFL rivalries tonight, your favorite ones. All right, what do you do? The earlier rivals, you let us know the audio is good, the video is good. Thumbs up, hearts, whatever. They're on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever it may be. Then you share it with your friends. We are in the Arctic Air Studios. If your air is not Arctic, you need to call the bear. Yes, you do. All right, so let's get it in. Let's get it going tonight. Invite your friends in, and let's have some fun. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, where you start your day. You went there today. You answered the most Texan thing you have done this week. Every Friday we celebrate being a Texan. More people need to celebrate being a Texan. So what did you do this week? How big a Texan were you? You tell us tonight. We'll talk about that. We also get your score predictions. And then on the website, Raiderland hot links. Every day we serve them up hot and fresh. The coolest links from around Raiderland and beyond. Stuff that we know you're going to love from a tech standpoint. And then just cool stuff that we find every day that we think you're going to like. So check it out at theraiderland.com. Make it your first morning stop. Okay, so yeah, we're brought to you tonight by Domino's Pizza. It's going to be a late night. You're going to want to lay in some pizza. Get some tonight, and that way you could maybe get like an extra pizza and then have cold pizza ready to go at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or midnight tomorrow night. Domino's.com. Great supporters of what we do here in Raiderland. Also by the Shropshire Agency here in Lubbock. Independent, just like you. Go to their website. They're doing more than just basic insurance these days. Got a lot of cool products and service lines. Give them a holler. Tell them thanks because they're great people. They're at the Shropshire Agency. United Supermarkets handles all the communications here, whether you are on YouTube, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on Twitter and X. It doesn't matter. Market Street, where I think, I don't know, is it Market Street or regular United she stopped off at tonight. But on the way home, got good stuff going. And then all the Western wear brought to you by Boot City. One money-saving mile outside the West Loop, 19th Street in Lubbock, Texas. Shout out 8th ranked team in the state, the Ropes Eagles. There we go. Now, you guys know what we're doing tonight. Most Texan thing. How Texan were you? Give me the big stuff, the little stuff. Give me your score predictions. I'll give you mine. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. And then NFL rivalries. Yeah, what do you got for me? Jacob or Jacob is on Twitter/X and says, great distraction prior to kickoff. Trump, Elon, and Butler after saving lives. So there you go. And it says, go Cougs, and I have no idea who the Cougs are. Who are the Cougs? Makes no sense whatsoever. Talking Box is indeed on. Thank you jumping in on Facebook. And now YouTube. We got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got YouTube right off the bat. Not bad. It's rare that we have the triumvirate, all three in a row. That's pretty good of you guys early on. Already pre-ordered my Domino's pizza for $9.45 tomorrow. You can do that. If you got the app, go to Domino's.com, get the app. You can lay in an order and just say, hey, in case I forget, because sometimes we forget. You're like, you get that alert on your phone, you go, yeah, this is awesome. Mark says it sounds great. I hope you're right. Damon, the Talking Box is on. Indeed it is. Damon is getting our Twitter people on. Twitter people showing up strong on a Friday. Where were you guys yesterday? Yesterday, Twitter was kind of weak. Facebook and YouTube, you guys will see what you do as we go through tonight. So, score time. You guys can give me yours. I do think the line is right. Arizona favored by 6.5. I think the line's right. I think this is a one possession game. I think that Arizona does some things that could cause Tech problems. Tech might do some things that could cause Arizona problems. I love this game. I wish more of the country could see it. I wish it was on at a better time. And I understand, I know that when the Big 12 took in the Pac-12 schools, that you were going to have some late starts. But here's what I would say to the late starts to Brett Yormark. Put your better games on earlier. Shelve your crappy games and let ESPN and let Fox have the crappy West Coast games. And because it's time filler. That's all it is. It's absolute time filler. But this is a good game. Arizona's a good team. Texas Tech is a good team. And shelving this thing 10 o'clock Central, not good for the league. So don't put these good games on in that window. Give Fox the crappy games. They don't care because they know nobody out west watches. So stick your UCF and BYU game at 10 o'clock Central. Do that. Don't do this one. It's rare that Yormark has a misstep. This is a misstep. These are the games that the Pac-12 wanted earlier. An Arizona Tech game, they would have loved to have had 7 o'clock Central. That's what they wanted. So don't make the same mistake that they were making beforehand. Good grief. Do I have to do everything around here? Get your comments in, your score predictions. I'll give you mine. You give me yours. Most Texan thing you have done this week. And then NFL rivalries, your favorite NFL rivalries. We got the Cowboys and the Steelers. And the NFL puts this on in prime time because they know guys like me, we're thinking back to Staubach and Bradshaw, Dorsett versus Franco Harris. They know that I'm going to squint my eyes and go, yeah, if I just pretend it's like the old days. Damn it, they know us too well. All right, let's go to some comments, questions, thoughts. Thanks to United Supermarkets. D. Wayne is on the YouTube channel. 63-10 to Tech. Morton enters the national Heisman chat. Taj gets 200 plus. I don't know what you're smoking. I don't know what you're drinking. I want you to lay off it and then send it out this way. Craig is on Facebook. Tech 48, Arizona 45. That's 2 Tech victories early on the predictions. Interesting. Very interesting. 3 in a row. Gary off of Facebook says it's 24-21. Taj with the big game. What's better, a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game for Texas Tech? I mean, I'll tell you what I think here in a little bit, but, the run game, if you commit to the run game, if you do what I think you got to do, that portends a lower-scoring game. Now, maybe not as low as what Gary's doing at 24-21. I can't get down that low. 48-45, Tech, says Craig, way too high scoring. Then, as we said, Dwayne is doing drugs. Good luck with the gummies. If you're just getting in, invite your friends. Have some fun on a Friday night. What are we talking about? Are you going to a high school game tonight? Are you almost there? What are you doing tonight? How are you going to game plan for tomorrow? Seriously, how are you going to game plan for tomorrow? Latest start we've had Central Time on a Tech game in a long, long time. How are you going to make it? And some of you guys ain't as young as you think you are. How are you going to make it? What are you going to do? Let's see. Sorry. Ryan, don't the networks have a lot of say to what time the games are? The networks have all the say, except when the head honcho, Brett Yormark, comes and says, no, we're not going to do this. The commissioner still has a lot of sway. And that's why this is a dumb move on the network standpoint from having it this late on the West Coast. You were supposed to be building Central and East Coast time zone product. Well, yeah, we went over this a few minutes ago. The networks have all the say, except the commissioner has all the say. Alan, 38-21 Arizona. Well, there's finally our first Arizona pick of the night. 38-21 21. Now, Arizona has played pretty good run defense up to this point. They played it pretty good against a Cam Rising-less Utah team. Arizona has a 1-2 punch at running back. You don't have to really account for the quarterback that much, even though he has his high school teammate as a wide receiver who put up some big yardage early, but has been mainly contained going forward. So it's a really run-based game for Arizona offensively. What does that mean for the Tech defense? Well, we're going to find out. I think it means that for the first time, really, you're looking at run, stop, run, stop, run, stop. So if you're an odd front, three-man front, and you're short a bunch of outside linebackers, what do? How do you play that? Do you do a bunch of five-man fronts, gap control with your really strong middle linebackers, and they're almost like a 5-2, not a 5-2, almost like a 5-2. How do you do that? Do you dare them to pass? Do you want them to test a secondary that is beat up, beleaguered, and not been so good this year? What do you do if you're Tim DeRuyter? The one thing you don't do, don't freaking blitz. All right? Don't even stunt anymore. Play it straight up. Gap control. Take me back to 1984. 4-4 gap control. A gap, B gap, C gap, D gap. Inside fit, outside fit. Go vanilla and see what happens, because you don't get there with pressure, and then you put it on the defensive secondary. That's the guys who cover the wide receivers, and you hang them out to dry. So let's not do that tomorrow night, shall we? Let's really go for a full run stop. 100%. Let's go a full run stop, gap control style. To do that, you've either got to be in a true 34, three-man front, four backers, and you've got to put your nose tackle, your nose guard, your zero tech, either cockeyed or whatever. You've got to take up a gap. He's got to take up a gap on the A side, left or right, strong or otherwise. I don't like that because I still got an unaccounted for gap. And that's why on a run-heavy team, I don't like a three-man front. I like a four-man front better, that I can spread out four across the front, take across four gaps, let linebackers take the fill middle, and then let my outside linebackers do what we're going to do. What do I know? I don't know a damn thing. Never watched any football, don't know a thing about it. But just, and I know this is going to sound contrary to a lot of Tech fans, hey, just lay back and make them figure out ways to beat you. Make them nickel and dime you. Hey. Let's get some communication going thanks to United Supermarkets. Glad you're with us. CJ, NFL rivals, Steelers and Ravens, Dallas and Philly. Yeah, the Steelers and the Ravens of the last 20 years, 100% out there in the East. Dallas and Philly have been rivals over nothing over the last 20 years for the most part. Jeff, 35-17 Arizona is his prediction. I think you're right in the range on Arizona. I still think Tech has a little more in them than 17. We'll explain as we go through. Craig, favorite NFL rivalry, Cowboys, Redskins, not the woke Commanders, Commodores. That's the thing, man. It's in the NFL, it's about logos. It's about jerseys. It's about laundry. It's about what you grew up on. It's not about anything. I mean, the Commodores have been horrible for 20 years now. Cowboys, kind of the same thing. But you still care when they play, don't you? CJ, I'll be working nights at the Tulsa Fair, keeping up with it on the phone. The Tulsa Fair? What are you doing at the Tulsa Fair? Sounds nefarious, just a little bit. It makes me worry about you. Rolling through the comments, thanks to United Supermarkets on YouTube. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on YouTube. If you hadn't followed us and subscribed there, please do. Even if you want to watch it on Facebook Live or Twitter or whatever, help grow it. We're looking, we're going past 350. I want 400 by the end of the week, and it'd be good. My gut, he says, wants to go with Tech for the win, but my brain says, wait, not so fast. Tech has to prove they can win on the road. Well, why haven't they won on the road, right? For the most part, they've turned it over on the road. we've been looking at this the last couple of weeks, and the biggest thing I can see is turnovers, and you have a propensity on the road to go for it more on fourth down and not get it, and that's a turnover. Make no mistake, a missed field goal is a turnover. Going for it on fourth down is a turnover. A fumble and interception is turnover. So we talk about turnovers, but head coaches, they don't want to put the we went for it on fourth down, and the analytics and everything. No, that's a freaking turnover. And to me, it's worse because you had other options. If I fumble it or throw an interception, I didn't want to. It just kind of happened. But every time I go for it on fourth down in certain situations, I had other options. I could punt. I could kick a field goal. I could do different things. But you chose to do something knowing that a possible outcome was incredibly negative for your team. I don't give a damn what the chart says, and you still do it. Now, Joey McGuire came back from Washington State, played 3 games at home, and got his mind right. Will his mind be right tomorrow night at Arizona when it comes to going for it on fourth down? Joey, don't do it at all. Not a single attempt. I mean, unless you're down late in the game and it's the only way you got a freaking chance in hell, don't do it. Ignore the chart. They moved the chart. By the way, the chart used to be upstairs in the press box. The guy was on the headset. Yeah, coach, there's a 37.2.4% chance if we do this and they do this that the outcome would be based on now the dude's down on the sidelines. Hey, coach, there's a 37.89. If you do this, there's a good time we could have maybe if they're stick the book where the sun don't shine. You're a head coach. Trust your gut. You know better. Death of analytics. I'll make a prediction. And I could be wrong. And I've not given you my prediction for the game yet. I'll make a prediction. Write it down. 6:45 Friday night, Central Time. If Texas Tech attempts a fourth down, I don't care whether they get it or don't get it, Tech will lose the game. All right? D. Wayne is on YouTube. Most Texan thing. Should be most Texan thing I've done this week. Converted to a full carnivore. No plants at all. Plants are trying to kill you. Steaks, burgers, eggs, that's it. The economy thanks you. Gary, most Texan thing this week, visited 20 minutes live with Wisconsin radio station about wild pigs in Texas. We've got to get you on a podcast at some point, Gary, and we're going to talk about wild pigs and other things. God bless you all. I mean, were they shocked by what was going on? Did you tell them, by the way, that AR-15 style platform? There is no such thing, by the way, as an AR-15. Well, anyways, you guys know. Did you tell them that's why we have those down here? They're really handy when it comes to killing hogs. And sometimes we like to hang out of helicopters and do it. It's really fun to do that. I've not done it because I don't believe in helicopters. I'm really afraid of flying. I don't believe in helicopters. You know how helicopters fly? FM. You know what FM stands for? Magic. Fake Natalie Maines, who may or may not be the real Natalie Maines. We're still waiting to find out the story on how the moniker Fake Natalie Maines came around on Twitter, on X, by the way. We got X, we got YouTube, we got Facebook. Everybody jumping in tonight. Your score predictions. I'll give you mine before we get out of here. Late kickoff, and Joey continues to struggle on the road, losing 35-27. Mop-up points lessen the lead in the fourth. Just so you know, love you. Hey, love you too, brother. Or sister, or whoever the hell you are. Whatever that may be. Still kind of confused by the moniker. I want the backstory. We want to know what that means. We also want everybody watching tonight, share this, put it out there, grow it. We're going to have a huge day tomorrow. Will there be Raiderland Rewind? Yes. Will it be after the game tomorrow? Hell no. Sunday night, 6:30. before the Cowboys get going, before the Sunday night game. We'll recap that and everything else. Hell no, I'm not doing it. 1:30 in the morning or whatever. My brain will barely be functioning. It's barely functioning right now. Recommend our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Radioland on YouTube. Cool stuff. 3-0 picking scores on this channel. I'm going 41-31 Tech. No way I'm picking Zona to win the game. We're going into the bye week 5-1. I hope you're right. Dude, I mean, if that's all it takes is Reckham getting on this channel, picking games, and Tech wins, where the hell have you been? Why are you wasting your talents other places? And I hope you're putting your money where your mouth is and making money on this. There you go, Lord. Ryan, NFL rivalries are watered down since the playoffs. Players don't care much about them. I disagree. I think the fans still care. The players care in the moment, and that's what you've got to understand in pro sports and college sports now. They care in the moment. They want to win. Trust me, they do. It's not like the old days where you played for the same team for 10 years because you were a freaking, almost damn near indentured servant and had no chance to change and do anything. But yeah, they still care, so they want to win. Trust me, the Cowboys want to win this weekend. Steelers want to win. They might not want to win because they're Cowboys or Steelers, but they want to win. The rivalries belong to the fans. They always have been. CJ, live in the area with other Tech fans. Be more specific. I have no idea what you're responding to, but it sounds good, and I wish I still knew what we were talking about. Damon, every possession should end with a kick. I mean, that's not necessarily true because it could be a punt. Punts suck, right? We hate punters. So not necessarily want to do that. Mark is on Twitter X, which is a platform and not a drug. Kicking game comes through. Tech 51-49 over Arizona. I still think that's way too high. Way too high. If Tech is doing what they're good at, there's no way you should have enough possessions to score 51 points. If you're in a track meet tomorrow night, that tells me things aren't going good in the run game, and that tells me Tech is not necessarily going to do very well. So scroll that down, in my opinion. 35-31 Tech. CJ jumping in on that. That's a little more. If you're picking Tech, I think that's probably the neighborhood you want to live in tomorrow night. Might even want to live a little lower. Mark now says 49. We're talking about Mark. He comes through Tech. 51 Arizona, 49. 49. He gives me 49. What are we doing? Speak to me. Come on, talk to me. All right. I think we got all the comments cleared up. You can tell us tonight the most Texan thing you have done this week. What is that? Big, small, or otherwise, that made you feel like, hey, I'm doing Texan type things. And then we want your Tech score predictions for Arizona. Your favorite NFL rivalries. Cowboys, Packers? Anyone still? Doesn't have to be Cowboys. It could be any. I mean, Packers, Bears, right? One of the great ones all time. I get geeked up about that. Now, I was a Packers fan back in the day. Not so much anymore. NFL teams are like restaurants to me. If they're good and serve good food, I keep going. You serve me crappy food, I have no loyalty. I'm not going to keep going. You people that keep going to crappy restaurants when they serve you bad food, that's on you, not on me. So, yeah, I'm kind of a man without an NFL team. Do I watch the Chiefs? Yes, because I like to watch Patrick Mahomes. They're fun to watch. But if they win or lose, it doesn't matter to me. It changes nothing in my life. I would rather them win because I want Patrick Mahomes to win, but if they don't, that's fine. So the NFL to me is no more than a restaurant. I go where the good food is. I enjoy the games where the good food and the service is. I know that's anathematic to a lot of you, and I get that. But that's why I'm here. So you guys don't have to be that way. I can be that way. Now, I wish the Cowboys and the Redskins were a great rivalry still, but it's not. Well, actually, the Redskins may be the best team in the division. Oh, I'm sorry, the Commodores. Same thing with Dallas and Philly, but Dallas hadn't held their end up for so many decades now. It's ridiculous. Other than if you're old like me, looking at the old rivalry between the Steelers and the Cowboys, which is how they suck you in. It's why it's on there. They put this on there not because 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds like it. They put this on there. It's Sunday night. They're wanting guys like me that still think it's Bradshaw and Staubach. That's why they put it on there. And the Cowboys, well, they got enough knucklehead fans out there that'll watch no matter what. Favorite NFL rivalries. We saw a good one last night that a lot of people around the country never think about because, for the most part, over the last 40 years, the Falcons and the Saints didn't matter, but they played some amazing games. And I don't know if you were watching last night or whatever and saw it and didn't everything else. But they've had so many enders like that over the years. Again, that there's like a gnat or some shit flying around here, about to wear me out. That were great endings, Hail Marys and everything else. Big Ben, the play that the Saints beat the Falcons on, I believe, in the early '80s. I think it was the Saints over the Falcons in that one, not the other way around. Anyway, it's been a great rivalry, but hey, AFC South, NFC South, doesn't matter. Nobody cared. They were good. CJ, 35-31 Tech. All right, so what do I think tomorrow night? I like the matchup. I think this is a great game. I wish this game would be seen by more of the country because I think it's going to be a one-possession game, much like the line says right now. I think 5.5, 6.5 is the right line. I do. I think that Arizona is better than Texas Tech going into the season and right now. And I think you catch Arizona in one of two spots. Either they are feeling great after beating Utah and they feel vindicated and that what happened earlier this year against K-State, that hey, that this is the real us. This is who we are. We can run the ball explosively. We can slow down a run game. We can do these things. Or you catch them at a time when they think they're bulletproof and invincible. They're coming off a big win, and they're at home, and everything's perfect until a real Big 12 team, shows up and punches them in the mouth. I lean towards they're feeling pretty invincible right now, and this is who we are, which ain't good for Texas Tech. Mark, kicking game comes through. I thought we already had that one. Tech 51, Arizona 49. Thought we'd already seen that one, Mark. Maybe that was on me kicking that one back. The thing I would say script-wise for Texas Tech and to Zach Kittley offensively, I think it starts offensively, it ends offensively, because the defense is the good enough defense. They're going to be just good enough to win, one way or the other. You hope they get a turnover here, a stop here, something good, but they're not going to be great. They're not going to shut them down. They're going to just suddenly show up and become a shutdown defense. They're going to be the good enough defense. And we talked earlier again about please don't blitz, don't pressure, gap control, eliminate the run game, try to keep them in 3rd and 5 in decision time. So offensively, what do we want to do? That damn gnat, I'm going to kill that gnat before we get out here tonight. What do we want to do? We want to run the football, but they're good at stopping the run sometimes. We're going to run the football some more. What if they stop it? What if Taj Brooks is sitting there at 8 or 9 carries and he doesn't have many yards? Run it again. Run the damn ball. Prove to them you're going to keep running it and then pop them with a play action pass and then run it some more and keep running it some more and don't get away from that. Your loss this year is because you didn't run the ball. Well, Taj wasn't there. Doesn't matter. Everything you do well is born off the run game, the threat of the run game, the willingness to run the football, play action or otherwise, the screens, everything about it is compressing the middle of the field, getting people in there, and then popping them other places. If you don't do it, if you abandon it, if you allow them to dictate to you and change your game plan and who you are, no matter what's going on yardage-wise with Thomas Brooks, you will lose the game. Because then they will go, all right, they've given up. And we widen out the field, and we spread out by formation. We go an odd man front. We don't have to build a big house up front. We're going to go out. We're going to force in. We're going to cover out. And you're not going to have any chance to do your little middle-ass screens that we hate. And you're not going to go downfield because you're not going to have pass protection because they don't respect the run. Run the freaking ball all night long. How many times we got to say it? Zach, I know you don't watch. And I wouldn't watch either if I were you. If I were you, Zach, I wouldn't pay a damn attention to me. I wouldn't. But if you want to win, you got to run. Bottom line, do not go for it on fourth down at all. Punt. Any field goal attempt, 45 yards or shorter, kick it. Kick the field goal. You got 2 field goal kickers. Take the points every single time. Make them earn it. What if they get a 75-yard run after we do that or punt or something? Well, then they did. Make them earn it every single time. Every single time. You do that, you got a chance. And that's all you need is a chance. Texas Tech has struggled on the road under Joey McGuire. Not because necessarily I think they are on the road. I think they've done the things that get you beat on the road. Go for it on a fourth down too many times. Too many turnovers. Too many unforced errors. Not because you woke up at a certain time at the hotel, you ate a certain thing for breakfast, or you wore a certain uniform. That ain't it. You win the turnovers. You don't go for it on fourth down. You run the ball. You establish the run. Make them respect that. You got a chance. Final score, Arizona 38, Texas Tech 34. Bottom line, I don't think Texas Tech right now is good enough at this moment to beat this Arizona team on the road in Tucson tomorrow night. Give me that matchup later on in the year. We might see something. Now, can Texas Tech spring the upset? Absolutely. Will they? I think it's a little bit much to ask of this Texas Tech team right now. It's still beat up defensively. It is still flawed defensively. It's hanging together. That's why we call it the good enough defense. It's still an offense that until I see it, I'm not going to believe it that they're going to commit to doing certain things at certain times. I want to see it. Therefore, I think Texas Tech covers. Go fight cover. They should have painted that on the north end zone concrete retaining wall back in the 80s. Go fight cover. We'll take Arizona 38-34. We'll take the Red Raiders to cover. And I'm beginning to think, I'm talking myself into this thing being a little higher scoring than maybe it could be a 34-31 instead of a 38-34. But we're going to take Arizona in this one. And hope we're wrong. Remember, I give you what I think is going to happen, what I think is the logical conclusion to what we talk about. I don't blow smoke up your ass. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not some sort of sunshine pumper. I'm not one of these people who, hey, he picked Texas Tech. Everybody love his broadcast. Hey, he picked Texas Tech. Everybody go sign up for his show and everything else. No, I give you honest appraisals of what we believe. No more, no less. And hopefully that's why you like what we do. Because when I tell you next week that Texas Tech is absolutely 100% not going to lose, that you believe me. And that when I tell you they're going to win, that I truly think they're going to win. Not, I'm just telling that so you feel good. Some people get that, some people don't. All right, we're green, white checker right now. Last chance to get in. Questions, comments, thoughts. I got it 38-34. We'll go with that. No Raiderland Rewind after the game tomorrow. Sunday night, 6:30. We will have our Sunday morning column for you, 5 things to know on a Sunday early. Tomorrow we'll have some stuff on Twitter. So follow us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. We'll be very active there on Twitter. I got to get a a wheel replaced on one of my trucks tomorrow, so got to do that. So everything else, everything else got to do. Maybe one more. Every possession should end with a kick. Yeah, I think I'm just getting old stuff like flowing back in for some reason on the comments. I don't know why. There we go. Now it's rebooting. All right. A few more comments before we get out of here. Should I text Collier a question an hour after the Zona game? No, I wouldn't. No, trust me. No, don't do that. Chad Hasty is talking weather manipulation in North Carolina and China want to take over the lithium mining in flooded North Carolina. Well, sounds about right. Yeah, I believe it. CJ's in the Tulsa area. Well, yeah, well, you're working at the fair. Want to know more about that? Mark, side story on Cowboys Steelers McCarthy from Pittsburgh. Nobody cares. And truly, nobody cares about him there. 45-42 Tech. Damon on a prediction. Craig, I missed the Cowboys and Oilers rivalry. The Governor's Cup in preseason. The Governor's Cup. I have a program for that from like 1977. Bucks were too conservative at the end. It cost them. I don't know if they were too conservative. They obviously didn't make a couple of plays, but geez, Atlanta just got freaking lucky. Bottom line. I mean, that's sad payback for the Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. But there you go. Realistic prediction, Tech 42, Arizona 38. In overtime, the game ends at 2:30 Central Time. God bless. I hope not. Broncos Seahawks when Seattle was in the AFC West. Sorry I wasn't getting into these earlier. It kind of stacked up on us here. Jeff, as a Seahawks fan, I second the Broncos rivalry. Jan, a great Tech fan, 38-31 Tech. Jeff, Cougar High up 7-0 over Sonny's Boys late in the first. Good Lord. Okay, Houston sucks. And we're not talking about the 1990 halftime show when, well, you guys may or the Gatlin brothers there, and they played Houston, and every time they said Houston in the song, everybody said sucks. Yeah, they actually suck. And if Sonny can't get this one, dude, my Coronado Mustang teammate is in some big trouble, and I don't want to see that happen. I don't want that to happen for him. Boom, boom. Hope this becomes the latest Big 12 game of all time. Triple overtime win after 3 a.m. CJ, it's your opinion. Hyatt, that's why we joined the show. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, green, white, checkered, says Damon. We're way into it. Finally, Mark, Sandy's volleyball in Lubbock at noon. At Lubbock High, I guess. The Golden Sandstorm. Blow, sand, blow on that. All right, we got to shut it down. Join us tomorrow on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter if you're not following. Everybody follow on the YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland YouTube channel. Even if you don't watch us there, follow us there, and then on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland there. We appreciate everybody who does that. We're going to archive this, then you can share it from the website, theraiderland.com. You guys are the best. We enjoyed the hell out of it tonight. I hope I'm wrong. 38-34 Arizona. We'll see. All right. Big weekend between now and then. A lot of stuff. So, pay attention. All right.